All right, good evening, friends. Today we're going to talk about how to keep dwarves happy. Now, the more dwarves you have, the more there's going to be conflict, jealousy, tales of, I forget, what does it say on this title screen? Tales of cupidity and perseverance. The more dwarves you deal with, the more you're going to have to play peacemaker. But there are some easy ways to keep them happy, and I'm going to run you through. Some of these are borderline cheating, but just use the ones you like. Don't use the ones you don't like. What we're looking at here is my custom waterfall. As you can see, I have a floodgate connected to a lever. So we can turn this off for repairs, for anything as needed. It will cut the river, but when it's open, it will bring water straight down through Z levels to create mist. For some reason, dwarves hate being caught in the rain, but they love being hit by a waterfall. It's very strange. I suppose in your imagination, they're not being hit by water, but they're just enjoying the mist. Here you can see, so this is a main nexus where all my dwarves pass through and they are forced to enjoy the waterfall mist. And this has been huge to keeping. You can see I have a population of 220 and we're doing pretty good. I mean, there's some unhappy people, but it's going good. And you can see I just pulled one up, content being near a waterfall. I was close to a waterfall, I'm very content. So here are the main things that you can do without cheating. Build a waterfall. Dwarves love waterfalls. Honestly, that's enough to keep them going. You build a waterfall, you force all dwarves to pass through where the waterfall goes. If people want help building a waterfall, there's lots of resources for that. I'd be happy to make a video. You can see I have a sewer system where the extra water floods off the edge of the map using fortifications. This is pretty basic engineering. And actually, this is actually a secondary waterfall. So while the water from the first waterfall is flowing, dwarves can get hit a second time with that good feeling of mist. Mist from waterfalls, incredibly helpful to keeping your dwarves happy. You can see right there, he just passed through mist, and he's saying, "I feel so good." Euphoric from being inebriated. Other things. Let me move on from waterfall. So you might see in the instructions for work orders, you can have your cooks make lavish meals, decent meals, fine meals. These, I believe they burn through your food stocks a little faster, but the dwarves appreciate it. Relatedly, build a nice dining room. Smooth the floor, engrave, nice furniture, statues. Dwarves will eat there. They really appreciate having a nice place to eat and to sleep. The other thing is, this is a little tedious, but you're going to want to build like a little 4x4 bedroom for each dwarf as much as possible. And the fastest way to do that is just place beds in a basic kind of like structure, in like a 4x4 pattern, and then just mark each bedroom and don't even assign them because the first dwarf that needs a bedroom will claim it. So, if you have 200 dwarves, try to build 200 bedrooms on like a floor of your mine. And that's really, really going to help. If they have their own bedroom, if they have a nice dining hall, if they have access to good food, and if they can touch a waterfall, most dwarves will not go insane with rage or depression. Most. So what we're looking at here are actually holding cells for vampires. I have 3 vampires, and they were all made vampires in the same way, where I have a big temple that all my dwarves like to worship in. But it is a vengeful god, and when certain dwarves get, red hot mad, they will have tantrums and they will commit vandalism. And the dwarves that commit vandalism in this temple, they have to the dwarf, to the man, been cursed with vampirism. And so what I do is I build holding cells, because I can't have them drinking blood and eating my other dwarves. I have a lever in an enclosed room, and I say, "Hey, go pull that lever," and then I lock the door behind them. They never die because they're immortal. And I just keep them there. Those are my least happy because they're trapped, forgotten in the walls of the mine. Again, sorry, grimdark. It's not kind to them, but they did vandalize a temple and get cursed by the gods themselves. So, I can't help at that point. And then, now they're going to start eating my dwarves. Anyway, as you can see, you can sort by happiness and unhappiness, and that's really useful. Sort by unhappiness and see what your most unhappy dwarves are complaining about. If they're like mine and they're just vampires who have been walled up as punishment for their vandalism, there's not much you can do about it, and it really doesn't matter because they're walled off, so their tantrums won't cause a tantrum spiral. They won't make other dwarves tantrum. So that's okay. But see, they'll complain about sleeping uncomfortably or not having good food or not having clothes is a big one. If they don't have clothes and things that they like, they'll get annoyed very quickly. All right, before we get too far, because we're about halfway through, ways that you can cheat. If you're like, oh man, I want to play this game. Back before Steam, there was a thing called Dwarf Psychiatrist where you could just type in a command and say, all of my dwarves are happy. You could just kind of like lobotomize them and they'd all be super happy and you wouldn't have to worry about their stress. The closest equivalent to this one, where you can't cheat as much, is dwarves will constantly, and especially in bigger fortresses, dwarves will constantly demand guild halls. And then when you give them guild halls, they will demand more guild halls or nicer guild halls. But what you can do in settings, and you'll find it in gameplay, I believe, gameplay settings, you can turn the value prerequisite for a guild hall way, way down. So as soon as they ask for a guild hall, you just set up a zone, put one chair in there, and they're happy. Maybe put a statue. That will both make them stop constantly pinging you and demanding guild halls and then being sad if you don't do it. And then it'll kind of get it out of the way. And it'll also make all the dwarves happy because they'll feel respected because you hacked the game to make their standards for respect much lower. What else do I have for cheating? Oh, one other thing while you're in the settings, I think you actually have to edit the dinit.txt file. You'll have to look up how to do that if you're not familiar already. But I set alerts to pause my game much more often because I don't like when an alert comes in, but maybe I'll miss it. So I like to, as the user, be like, I'm going to continue. That's not really for happiness, but that's just a general quality of life thing. Get into dinit initialization text file, and you can look up how to do that, and make more alerts pause. That's just my opinion. Let's see, what do I have? Another thing. So in the same way that you're going to, this is not cheating, but this is just a general tip. In the same way that you're going to try to funnel dwarves through waterfall therapy, like force them to enjoy the waterfall, you can also build pathways. I'm showing my tomb now. These are all the dwarves that have died. There is no faster way to get dwarves very upset and up in their feelings than to not honor the dead. So make sure to honor the dead. If you can reclaim the corpse, then you can build a tomb for them. If not, make sure to engrave a slab so that the ghost will leave you alone and the family members will feel respected, that you remembered the dead. What was I saying just about? Oh God, I already forgot. Not guild halls, not dinit. Build areas that dwarves have to go through that are full of like nice statues. That's a picture of miasma. You want to avoid that. Dwarves hate when things stink, and that's very relatable. Sorry, that's my underground butcher for processing things that I've thrown down the pit. But so build pathways where the dwarves have to admire. Gemstone windows are really good. Statues. Basically, like while the dwarves are working, they have to admire and say, you know what, this fortress has a nice waterfall. It has nice statues. It has beautiful things all around, engravings on the walls. I can't complain that much. Looks like I'm almost out of time and I hit most of my notes. So what do we got? Waterfalls, statues, windows, make sure they have bedrooms, food, nice food, dining room, and then cheat if you need to. And make sure to like and subscribe. These videos are actually doing really good and it does motivate me. Thank you guys so much for your support. Dwarf Fortress community is so cool. And I'm honored to be part of it. I'm honored to know enough about it to maybe help people. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, good night, everybody.